So in this video, Outcast is at it again. Shout out to her for always bringing out receipts and pouring out facts. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to be part of this conversation by simply sharing your thoughts or views in the comment section down below. Now, in this enlightening video, we take a look into thought-provoking questions surrounding the origins of humanity, guided by the insightful responses of Outcast. With a deep insight into biblical narratives and scientific discoveries, she sheds light on the misconceptions surrounding Adam and Eve's ethnicity and explores the intriguing concept of the E-gene in the formation of diverse races. So join me as we unravel the significance of the book of Enoch, its exclusion from the Bible, and its prophetic relevance to Christ. Through a captivating blend of theology and anthropology, we uncover the profound implications of fallen angels and their role in shaping the rich tapestry of human diversity. With that said, let's get into the videos.
If you believe in the Bible, answer these questions. Now, only one answers. I don't need to know you lost or you dumb or none of that shit. Just answer my questions, please. And all these answers should match because y'all all believe the same book. So in the Bible, it says Adam and Eve was the first people on this earth, right? But then how did all other races evolve? If two Caucasian people or whatever race they was, how could they possibly make other races? And better yet, wouldn't we all be related? Another question, Noah's Ark.
My guy, honestly, it kind of make me sad how nobody in the comments can answer this man's questions, but I can. Alright, so first what you messed up at is when you brought up Adam and Eve and saying how two Caucasians can make other races. Let's start off by saying Adam and Eve was not white, they was not Caucasian. But two black people can make other races, which is called the Eve gene. You can just go read up on that yourself. Not to mention the oldest bone found in the world is from a black woman. Now let's get to the book of Enoch, which was taken out of the Bible. The book of Enoch was taken out of the Bible because it was rejected by the Jews, because it contained prophecies pertaining to Christ. Now let's get into how other races was really made while using the Bible. Scientists honestly proved that the Bible was real without even knowing it, honestly, when they found out about the Neanderthal DNA. I do not know if y'all know about the fallen angels. Everybody in this world was black to start off with. The fallen angels were sent down here to watch over the people, but instead they started having sexual intercourse with the people. With the fallen angels having sexual intercourse with the people and disobeying God, they had kids and created giants, which then giants started to have kids, which created Nephilims. And when the Nephilims began to have kids, they created Neanderthals, which scientists proved that Neanderthals did exist, which then the Neanderthals began to have kids. And not only that, where those people was living, there was a lot of sun. The Neanderthals couldn't take the heat, so they hibernated to the Caucasus Mountains, which then the Neanderthals began to have kids, which began to create this. Caucasians were made, not born. It's a mutation. Also, and since you talked about the bloodline, God speaks about how after the third or fourth generation, you lose a certain bloodline. Kind of like if a black person have a kid with a white person. That kid is 50% black, 50% white. Then say that kid goes back to a black person. Now that kid is going to be 75% black, 25% white. Then after that kid goes back to a black person, that kid is still going to have an itsy bitsy piece of white DNA. But after that kid goes back to a black person, the white has disappeared and is soon to go back to its natural race. And is soon to go back to its natural race. So sooner or later that whole bloodline will be wiped out. So think about where that bloodline will be at after thousands of years has passed. You had a lot of questions, so now I gotta make a part 2.
Be related? Another question, Noah's Ark. So y'all truly believe that Noah grabbed 2 of each animal and put them on a boat and none of them ate each other? But y'all call me a deceiver and an antichrist for not believing in something that obviously doesn't make sense. So I just want to know, how do we repopulate after Noah's Ark if God flooded the whole entire planet and only Noah and his family survived? Y'all saying that Noah's our ancestors? So you telling me this guy right here, including me, and this guy has the same ancestor and we're all related? I really want to see what answer y'all can give me for that. Just think about how you sound while you're typing it. Another question, if heaven and hell is real, you have to die to go to heaven and hell.
My guy, so you truly believe that if God can speak to Noah and his people to create the ark, that he couldn't spiritually speak to the animals to let them know not to eat each other? He created human and animals. I'm pretty sure he could speak to both. Also, have you not heard of the Eve gene? The Eve gene is a mitochondrial DNA that could create any color of race. So let's talk about the book of Enoch that was taken out of the Bible. I don't know if y'all know the scripture of the book of Enoch where it talks about Noah's father and mother going up to Enoch telling him that Noah looks like the kids from the fallen angels, as if he's a descendant of the fallen angels. You can go watch my part 1 to tell you how people were created in different shades and forms. Noah was of a pale skin, albino. That's why his father and mother was scared of him and said that he looked like the children's descendants of the fallen angels. He was a pale skin and colored eyes. Also, God talks about the 4th and 5th bloodline, where your bloodline will wear out after a certain amount of generations. So yes, Noah did have to repopulate the world. Him and his family. Noah was albino and his wife was black, which she contained the Eve gene. After a certain amount of generations, your bloodline will wear out. For instance, if a black person has a kid with a white person, that kid's going to be 50% black, 50% white. Then if that kid goes to a black person soon, their kid is going to be 75% black, 25% white. And if their kid goes to a black person, that kid is going to only have like 1% of white inside of them. Then after that, sooner or later, that bloodline of white will be wiped out. That kid will only be of one race. That bloodline has been thinned out. Also, you can go watch my part 1 to show you how Caucasians was made, which basically answers this question also. But there were curses put upon his people. So after thousands of years, your cousin far on this side is black, and your cousin far on this side can be white. But you will never know. That's the power of life. And that's the power of Yah. So you can't also just read the Bible. You have to go read the parts of the Bible that was taken out also. It could actually answer all the questions that you're asking. But you asked a lot of questions, so now I have to make a part 3.
My guy, science just proved that the Bible was real without even knowing it. Okay, so as y'all know, scientists just found out there's another DNA called Neanderthal DNA. Alright, so now I'm about to tell y'all why science just proved that the Bible was real without even realizing it. So scientists are saying that every race contains Neanderthal DNA. You know, Asians, Latinos, Europeans, Hispanics, and the list goes on. But they also say that every race has Neanderthal DNA except for African modern descendants, aka black people. Like, you know, they really just proven that the Bible really is talking about the black people and how they're the real Hebrew Israelites, the real Jews. No disrespect, but one of the scientists actually noted that it's kind of like them being the pure humans. Hey, that didn't come from me. That they said that. I'm just repeating it. Now let me tell you where Neanderthal blood came from. Neanderthals came from Nephilims. Nephilims came from giants. And giants came from the fallen angels. Now the Bible speaks about how the fallen angels were supposed to be protecting the humans. But instead they began to fancy them and began to do sexual activities with the women and men, creating children. These children became dysfunctional giants, like those of Goliath, the one that David fought in the Bible. The giants soon began to create their own offsprings, creating the Nephilims, which allowed the Nephilims to create kids, which resulted into Neanderthals. Now, Neanderthal skin couldn't expose to the sun, so they had to move to a colder climate, aka the Caucasus Mountains. See where I'm going there? Which is where they got the word Caucasians from. Their skin grew lighter and lighter, which created the lighter skin pigmentation, which a lot of these races and ethnicities carry till this day. Now, Nephilims were giants, the violent offspring produced when wicked angels mated with human women in the days of Noah. The hybrids born from this unnatural union were no ordinary children. Since the Neanderthal blood is still alive, that just proved that some must have lived after the Noah flood. Otherwise, their habitation would have been washed away during this global catastrophe. This means one or more of the 8 people that was on Noah's Ark must have carried the unique genetic variations that Neanderthals possessed, allowing those genes to survive and to be passed on for a time before they eventually died out. Anyways, I got more to talk about, but we just gonna do that later. So I hope they don't take my page down again for something like this. But let's get into it.
Alright, welcome my viewers. Let's now get into it. Outcast's assertions are indeed intriguing and supported by both biblical and scientific evidence. Firstly, her debunking of the misconception that Adam and Eve were palm color aligns with biblical scholarship, which suggests that they likely belonged to a darker-skinned ethnicity given their origins in the Middle East. Additionally, genetic studies have indicated that modern humans share a common African ancestor, supporting the notion that the earliest humans likely had darker skin. Now, her reference to the E gene highlights the scientific phenomenon of melanin dominance, where individuals with higher levels of melanin produce offspring with varying degrees of skin pigmentation. This aligns with the observed genetic diversity among human populations and provides a plausible explanation for the emergence of different racial characteristics. The mention of the Book of Enoch, although not included in the canonical Bible, holds historical significance in ancient Judeo-Christian literature. Its exclusion from the Bible does not diminish its relevance as a source of theological insight, particularly regarding the narrative of fallen angels and their interactions with humanity. Her reference to Neanderthal DNA is supported by genetic studies that have revealed interbreeding between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, further corroborating the complex evolutionary history of human populations. Now, her commentary or her video is thought-provoking and well supported by a combination of biblical interpretation and scientific evidence, which we're going to take a look at. Her statement that Adam and Eve were not palm color aligns with scholarly interpretations of the biblical text. The Bible describes Adam as being formed from the dust of the ground, Genesis 2:7, suggesting an origin in the region of Mesopotamia, which is known for its diverse ethnic populations with predominantly darker skin tones. While the term E gene may not be scientifically recognized, she likely refers to the genetic principle of melanin dominance. Melanin, the pigment responsible for skin color, hair color, and eye color, is determined by multiple genes. Individuals with higher levels of melanin tend to have darker skin, while those with lower levels exhibit lighter skin tones. Now, this genetic diversity can account for the variation in skin color observed among human populations. Her mention of the Book of Enoch sheds light on an ancient Jewish text that provides insight into early Jewish and Christian beliefs. Although not included in the canonical Bible, the Book of Enoch contains apocalyptic and prophetic literature, including narratives about angels, fallen angels referred to as watchers, and their interactions with humanity. While its exclusion from the Bible was due to various factors, including concerns about its authorship and theological implications, its influence on later Jewish and Christian thought cannot be overlooked. Genetic studies have indeed revealed that modern humans outside of Africa carry traces of Neanderthal DNA, indicating interbreeding between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals tens of thousands of years ago. This interbreeding contributed to the genetic diversity of modern human populations and is a significant aspect of our evolutionary history. Now, beyond textual analysis, anthropological research supports the idea that early humans, including Adam and Eve, if interpreted as literal figures, likely originated in Africa. The out of Africa theory posits that anatomically, modern humans first appeared in Africa and later migrated to other parts of the world. Genetic studies have traced the ancestry of all modern humans to Africa, supporting the notion that the earliest humans had darker skin tones. Melanin dominance is a genetic principle that explains the inheritance patterns of skin color. Melanin is produced by melanocytes in the skin and serves as protection against harmful UV radiation. The genetic variation in melanin production results in the diverse range of skin tones observed among human populations. While melanin dominance explains the general trend of darker-skinned individuals producing darker-skinned offspring, genetic mutations, environmental factors, and intermixing between populations contribute to the complexity of human skin color. The Book of Enoch is part of the genre of Jewish apocalyptic literature, and contains various takes attributed to Enoch, a figure mentioned in the Bible. Genesis 5 verse 18 to 24, the book provides insights into Jewish cosmology, angelology, and eschatology, presenting a worldview that influenced early Jewish and Christian thought. While not included in the canonical Bible by most Christian traditions, it was highly regarded by some early Christian writers and remains significant for understanding ancient Jewish and Christian beliefs. Now, genetic evidence from the sequencing of Neanderthal DNA has revealed that non-African populations carry small amounts of Neanderthal genetic material. This suggests interbreeding between Homo sapiens migrating out of Africa and Neanderthals in Eurasia. The extent and significance of this interbreeding are subjects of ongoing research in paleogenetics and provide valuable insights into the evolutionary history of modern humans. We have come to the end of the video, but what do you, my viewers, have to say about this video? Share your thoughts, contributions as well in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.